House of the Dragon Season 3 premieres in just days. And I need to know, are you actually ready? 15 questions about the Targaryen Civil War, the Dance of the Dragons, and everything that happened before Season 3 picks up. A, B, or C. No skipping. Let's see if you remember Westeros as well as you think you do. Each question has 3 choices. Pick yours out loud or drop it in the comments before I reveal the answer. Keep your score. This show is dense, even big fans miss a few of these. Question 1. Question 1. House of the Dragon is set roughly how many years before the birth of Daenerys Targaryen? A. 50 years. B. Nearly 200 years. C. 500 years. The answer is B. Nearly 200 years. The show takes place approximately 172 to 193 years before the events of Game of Thrones, during the height of Targaryen rule when dragons were still common in Westeros. Dragon lore bonus. This means almost every character in House of the Dragon is dead by the time Daenerys is even born. The entire Targaryen Civil War happens generations before anyone in the original series exists. Question 2. What is the name of the civil war depicted in House of the Dragon, fought between 2 Targaryen factions? A. The War of Conquest. B. The Dance of the Dragons. C. The Blackfyre Rebellion. The answer is B. The Dance of the Dragons. This is the Targaryen Civil War fought between Rhaenyra Targaryen and her half-brother Aegon II over succession to the Iron Throne, devastating the Targaryen dragon population. Dragon lore bonus. The Dance of the Dragons is considered one of the most catastrophic events in Targaryen history. By the end of the conflict, the once massive Targaryen dragon population was reduced to a tiny fraction of what it had been. Question 3. King Viserys names his daughter Rhaenyra as his heir. What title does this make her, since no woman has held it before? A. Hand of the King. B. Princess of Dragonstone. C. Queen Regent. The answer is B. Princess of Dragonstone. This is the traditional title given to the heir to the Iron Throne. Rhaenyra becomes the first woman in Targaryen history to hold this title, setting up the entire succession conflict. Dragon lore bonus. King Jaehaerys I previously passed over a female heir, Rhaenys, nicknamed the Queen who never was, in favor of a male cousin. A decision that haunts the family and directly fuels the later civil war over Rhaenyra's claim. Question 4. What nickname is given to Prince Admiral Cragghis Draher due to his brutal treatment of captured enemies? A. The Crabfeeder. B. The Bloodletter. C. The Stepstone King. The answer is A. The Crabfeeder. He earns this name by nailing captured soldiers and sailors to wooden posts on the beach, where crabs devour them alive at low tide during the war for the Stepstones. Dragon lore bonus. The Stepstones are a strategically vital chain of islands controlling shipping lanes between Westeros and Essos. Control of this route is a major source of conflict throughout the early seasons. Question 5. What is the High Valyrian command used by Targaryens to order their dragons to breathe fire? A. Zaldrises. B. Dracarys. C. Valar Morghulis. The answer is B. Dracarys. This iconic command translates roughly to Dragonfire in High Valyrian and is used throughout both House of the Dragon and Game of Thrones whenever a Targaryen orders their dragon to attack with fire. Dragon lore bonus. Valar Morghulis is actually unrelated. It is a different High Valyrian phrase meaning, all men must die, used as a greeting among followers of the Faceless Men, not a dragon command. Question 6. Prince Daemon Targaryen is famous for being skilled with which iconic weapon? A. A warhammer called Lamentations. B. A Valyrian steel sword called Dark Sister. C. A spear called Longclaw. The answer is B. Dark Sister. Daemon wields this ancient Valyrian steel blade, historically associated with Visenya Targaryen, one of Aegon the Conqueror's sister wives who helped found the Targaryen dynasty. Dragon lore bonus. Longclaw is actually a different sword entirely. It belongs to House Mormont and later to Jon Snow in the original Game of Thrones series, completely unrelated to the Targaryen Civil War. Question 7. What event triggers Rhaenyra's dragon Syrax to set fire to the funeral pyres of her mother and brother? A. Their deaths from childbirth complications. B. An assassination plot. C. A dragon riding accident. The answer is A. Their deaths from childbirth complications. Queen Aemma and her newborn son Balon both died during a brutal, complicated birth, leading to one of the show's most devastating early episodes. Dragon lore bonus. This single tragedy is a major turning point. It leaves King Viserys without a male heir from his first marriage, directly setting up the succession crisis that names Rhaenyra as heir instead. Question 8. What is the name of the elite group of sellswords that Cersei, that Queen Alicent's rivals, send Euron to recruit by the end of an early season? A. The Golden Company. B. The Iron Bank Guard. C. The Faceless Order. The answer is A. The Golden Company. This famous mercenary group, founded generations earlier during the Blackfyre Rebellion, is recruited to fight in the Dance of the Dragons. This detail actually connects directly to events that echo forward into the original Game of Thrones era. Dragon lore bonus. The Golden Company is one of the most legendary mercenary companies in the entire Song of Ice and Fire universe. Founded nearly 100 years before the events of House of the Dragon, it remains active for generations. 8 down, 7 to go, and the back half gets into the real Season 3 setup. If you are excited for the premiere, subscribe right now. New House of the Dragon content every week through the whole season. Back to Westeros. Question 9. What is the nickname given to Princess Rhaenys Targaryen after she was passed over for the Iron Throne in favor of her cousin Viserys? A. The Silver Queen. B. The Queen Who Never Was. C. The Forgotten Princess. The answer is B. The Queen Who Never Was. Despite having a strong claim, the Great Council of Lords chose Viserys instead, establishing the precedent that male heirs are favored. A decision with massive consequences decades later. Dragon lore bonus. Rhaenys becomes one of the most important supporting characters in the show specifically because her own experience being denied the throne shapes how she views Rhaenyra's later struggle for the same right. Question 10. What is the name of King Viserys' personal dragon, one of the oldest dragons still alive during the show? A. Vermax. B. Balerion. C. Caraxes. The answer is B. Balerion. Nicknamed the Black Dread, Balerion is the absolutely ancient dragon that originally belonged to Aegon the Conqueror himself, making him centuries old by the time of House of the Dragon. Dragon lore bonus. Balerion was also the dragon ridden by Aegon the Conqueror during the original War of Conquest that united the Seven Kingdoms nearly 200 years before House of the Dragon even begins, and he is still alive, though dying, when the show starts. Question 11. How does Princess Rhaenys dramatically interrupt King Aegon II's coronation ceremony? A. She publicly declares Rhaenyra the rightful queen. B. She bursts through the floor riding her dragon Melis. C. She poisons the wine being served. The answer is B. She bursts through the floor riding her dragon Melis. In one of the show's most jaw-dropping moments, Rhaenys crashes her dragon directly into the dragon pit during the coronation, having the power to kill everyone present, before ultimately flying away without attacking. Dragon lore bonus. This moment is widely regarded as one of the most dramatic scenes in the entire series. Many fans expected Rhaenys to attack, given the opportunity to end the usurpation instantly. Her choice not to is one of the show's most debated decisions. Question 12. What physical deformity affects Prince Aemond Targaryen after a confrontation with his nephews? A. He loses an eye. B. He loses a hand. C. He is badly burned. The answer is A. He loses an eye. During a violent confrontation with his nephews, Rhaenyra's sons, as children, Aemond loses an eye and later replaces it with a sapphire, becoming a defining visual trait of his character for the rest of the series. Dragon lore bonus. This childhood injury directly fuels one of the show's most consequential ongoing feuds. The bitter rivalry between Aemond and his nephew Lucerys, which eventually escalates into a deadly confrontation between their dragons in the sky. Question 13. Which actor plays the adult version of Prince Daemon Targaryen throughout the series? A. Matt Smith. B. Tom Glyn Carney. C. Ewan Mitchell. The answer is A. Matt Smith. Known for playing the 11th Doctor in Doctor Who, Matt Smith brings a dangerous, unpredictable energy to Daemon, one of the most complex and morally ambiguous characters in the entire series. Dragon lore bonus. Tom Glyn Carney plays Aegon II and Ewan Mitchell plays Aemond Targaryen, both key antagonist roles in the war against Rhaenyra. All three actors have become fan favorites for their portrayals of the deeply flawed Targaryen family. Question 14. What is unique about the dragon named Vermax, ridden by Rhaenyra's son Dracarys? A. He is the largest dragon in Targaryen history. B. He hatched from the same clutch of eggs as several of Rhaenyra's children's dragons. C. He can breathe a unique colored fire. The answer is B. He hatched from the same clutch of eggs as several of Rhaenyra's children's dragons. Targaryen children are traditionally given a dragon egg at birth, and several of Rhaenyra's children's dragons were bonded with them from infancy, including Vermax with Dracarys. Dragon lore bonus. The tradition of placing a dragon egg in a Targaryen child's cradle dates back to Aegon the Conqueror's era and is considered a near-sacred custom. Though not every egg successfully hatches or bonds with its intended rider. Question 15, final question. What does the title, House of the Dragon, itself most directly refer to? A. A physical castle owned by House Targaryen. B. House Targaryen itself, the only family to successfully tame dragons. C. A secret society of dragon riders. The answer is B. House Targaryen itself. The Targaryens are famously the only noble house in Westeros to have successfully bonded with and ridden dragons, a power that allowed them to conquer and rule the Seven Kingdoms for nearly 300 years. Dragon lore bonus. By the time the original Game of Thrones begins, the Targaryen dragons have been extinct for over 150 years. The Dance of the Dragons depicted in House of the Dragon is the single event most responsible for their near, total extinction, making this show essentially the origin story of the dragon's downfall. 15 questions about the Dance of the Dragons. Let's see how you did. 13 to 15 correct. You are ready for Season 3. Genuinely impressive knowledge of the lore. 8 to 12 correct. Solid. You know the major beats. A few of the deep lore details got you. 4 to 7 correct. You have watched the show. You just have not obsessed over the lore the way some of us have. Under 4. A rewatch before Season 3 might be worth it. No shame. This family tree is genuinely confusing. Drop your score in the comments and tell me who you are rooting for, Team Black or Team Green. Subscribe for more before the premiere. See you in the next one.